the Maa civilization. Ancient Middle African civilization inhabited by the founders of Sumerians, Egyptians, Elamites, and Garamantian civilizations was a civilization called Maa. The ancestors of these people belonged to the Unanian culture. I call them the Proto-Saharans. This population hunted animals with the bow and arrow. They are associated with the Unanian culture. The Unanian culture existed beginning from 12,000 years ago up until 4,000 years ago. The Onanians were members of the Capsian population. There was continuity between the populations in the Maghreb and southern Sahara, referred to as Capsians, Ibero-Maurusians, and Mectoids. The Niger-Congo speakers are descendants of the Capsian population. Capsian people did not only live in Africa, they were also present in South Asia. Using craniometric data, researchers have made it clear that the Dravidian speakers of South India and the Indus Valley were primarily related to the ancient Capsian or Mediterranean population. In fact, the ancient Dravidians came from Middle Africa. The Unani culture is associated with sites in Central Egypt, Algeria, Mali, Mauritania, and Niger. The Onanian tradition is probably associated with the Niger-Congo phyla. This would explain the close relationship between the Niger-Congo and the Nilo-Saharan languages. In summary, the Niger-Congo speakers formerly lived in the highland regions of the Fezzan and Hagar until after 4000 BC. Originally hunter-gatherers, the Proto-Niger-Congo people developed an agro-pastoral economy, which included the cultivation of millet and domestication of sheep and cattle. Among the Proto-Saharians, the name Ma, for their great ancestors, became one of the many ethnonyms of these ancient people. The descendants of the Ma clan claim descent from Ma, as evident in the name for the Mandi, the parent group of the Mandinka-speaking people of West Africa. Mandi means Ma Inde, or children of Ma. Some Dravidians of South India were also members of the Mandi superclan, as illustrated in the Kananda, Telugu, and Tulu Dravidian tribes that use the term Mandi or Mandi to denote people or persons. The Sumerians called themselves Magari, God's exalted children. The Proto-Saharans, in honor of great Ma, use the term Ma to denote greatness. For example, in Manding we find Maga, in Sumerian Mag, and Dravidian Ma. The Ma element was also used in the names for their rulers, e.g. Menes of Egypt, the Mannan of the Dravidians, and the Manses of the Manding. Maos cultivated millets, possessed domesticated cattle, sheep, and goats. The Maids built pyramids and other large monuments, and they had writing which is called Thinite. The archaeological evidence indicates that African literature began in Sahara over 5,000 years ago. The earliest form of writing was a syllabic system, probably Thinite, that included hundreds of phonetic signs, which over time was shortened to between 22 and 30 key signs, and used as an alphabet or syllabary by the Mandi people of the Fezzan and Niger Valley, the Dravidian-speaking people in India, the Sumerians, Elamites, the Shi or Olmec people of ancient America, the Egyptians, Meroites, Phoenicians, and Ethiopians. The various African writing systems, except for Meroitic, are based on the Thinite script. The Thinite script was first used in Nubia. The variant forms of this writing was later used by people belonging to the C group culture of Africa, who later migrated into Eurasia and the Americas. The Thinite script provides many of the signs that are included in later scripts used by Africans. The earliest examples of Thinite is found on Egyptian seals. These seals usually have 2 to 3 Thinite characters engraved on the seals. Sub-Saharan Africans were using Thinite symbols before the rise of Egypt to record their ideas and report on important events. I was able to decipher the Olmec and Indus Valley writing systems because the speakers of these languages formerly belonged to the C group people of Nubia. They developed a series of syllabic scripts that used Thinite signs. It is clear that a common system of record keeping was used by people in the 4th and 3rd millennium BC. from Saharan Africa to Iran, China, and the Indus Valley. The best example of this common writing systems were the Linear A script, the Proto-Elamite, Uruk script, Indus Valley writing, and the so-called Libica Berber writing, which was really a writing system used by the Mandi speakers. Although the Elamites and Sumerians abandoned this writing in favor of the cuneiform script, the Dravidians, Minoans, Mandi, the creators of the Libico-Berber writing, and Olmecs continued to use the Proto-Saharan signs. I believe the Proto-Saharans who created the Maa Confederation built many pyramids in addition to the Niger pyramid. Some of the Maa monuments appear to be made in the form of sheep and cattle. This was not a surprise given the early domestication of these animals by the Proto-Saharans. As a result, cattle and sheep were probably held in great veneration by the Proto-Saharans or Maa people. In the picture below, we see yardangs. Geologists believe that these are geographical features created in the desert as a result of winds eroding rock formations. I believe that these yardangs may really represent monuments built by the Proto-Saharans when these regions were fertile. This view is supported by the fact that these yardangs resemble monuments made in later years by the Cushites to represent the ancient god Amun. These yardangs may represent a pyramid field. Here we see some of the yardangs. Look at the pyramidal shape of these yardangs. Yardangs do not only look like pyramids. Although yardangs are believed to be natural formations, some yardangs also resemble Amun figures. What we do know is that the Proto-Saharans venerated cattle. In the Sahara, we find numerous engravings of oxen with discs between their horns, before we see the Egyptian goddess Hathor. The principal god of the Maids was Amma or Nia. Another main set of gods among the ancient Maids was the gods Seth and Anubis. The most ancient depiction of these gods are found in the Sahara. It appears that in ancient time before the rise of Egypt, Seth was worshipped by people in the Sahara. Recently, a very interesting inscription has been found that relate to this worship. The symbols on the engravings are written in the so-called Libico-Berber writing, which is really made up of Mandi signs. Using the Mandi signs, we're able to read the inscriptions in Malinki-Bambara language. On the left side, we see a figure of a canine, and on the right, we see a figure of Seth. Reading the inscriptions from left to right, I will decipher the writing. Under the canine figure, we have Betuakana, or to exist obedient to the order in joy with the mother. Reading the inscription on the Seth figure, we have the following inscriptions reading from right to left. Iluigyo, Fayo, Gyo, which reads, Thou hold upright this divinity of the cult, our father, the vital spirit of society consecrated to the Seth clan. This figure is important in relation to Western Sahara and the Seth cult. Michael Rice in Egypt's Making, The Origin of Egypt 5000-2000 BC, makes it clear that Seth was the god of the southern people, and that Anubis, the Canaan god, was the protector of the people of the south. As you can see, there was a great civilization in the Sahara before Egypt. This was the civilization of Ma. These Maids created many of the elements that we take for granted as elements of the ancient civilizations of Egypt, Samaria, Elam, etc. These civilizations had their roots not in outer space, as many of the adherents of the ancient aliens clans or ancient alien myth. These Africans built these civilizations in Africa and took them around the world. You can find out more about the Maa civilization in my book.